Welcome to this lesson on if sentences. We use if sentences to talk about situations and their results. In this lesson, we will look at two main types. The first conditional is used for the real world. It describes real and possible future situations. The second conditional is used for the imaginary world. It describes situations that are unreal or. Every if sentence has a simple idea behind it: cause and effect. The first part gives us the condition. This is the part with if. The second part gives us the result. We can think of the sentence like this: if something happens, then something else happens. So the condition comes first and the result follows. This cause and effect idea is important for understanding both the first and second conditionals. Choosing your path: reality versus imagination. Now we need to choose which world we are talking about. The first conditional is used for real and possible future situations. The probability is relatively high, around 50 to 90%. The second conditional, on the other hand, is used for situations with very low probability, around 0 to 5%. So, before choosing the grammar, ask yourself, is this a real and possible situation, or am I imagining something? Welcome to the real world. Let's start with the first conditional. We use the first conditional for possible future situations that are very likely to happen. We have three common uses. First, we can use it for predictions. Second, we can use it when giving advice. And third, we can use it for warnings. The important idea is that we are talking about a real possibility in the future. Building the first conditional. Now let's look at the structure of the first conditional. The if clause uses the present simple. The result clause uses will plus the base verb. So the basic pattern is if plus present simple, will plus base verb. For example, if you think before you act, you will stay safe. Notice that think is in the present simple after if. Then we use will stay in the result clause. Also notice the comma. When the if clause comes at the beginning of the sentence, we use a comma to separate the condition from the result. Welcome to the imaginary world. Now let's move to the second conditional. The second conditional takes us into the imaginary world. We use it when we want to dream, guess, or give advice by imagining a situation that is not true right now. So, unlike the first conditional, we are not focusing on a real and likely future situation. We are imagining a different situation. Building the second conditional. Let's look at the structure of the second conditional. The if clause uses the past simple. The result clause uses would plus the base verb. So the basic pattern is if plus past simple, would plus base verb. Look at the example on the slide. If I were you, I wouldn't click the link. Here we use were in the if clause. There is an important grammar point here. In this imaginary world, we use were instead of was for all subjects. For example, we say, I were, he were, she were. The result can be negative with wouldn't. So, if I were you, I wouldn't click the link. This is an example of giving advice by imagining yourself in another person's situation. The timeline of reality. You may be wondering, why do we use the past simple in the second conditional if we are not talking about the past? The answer is that the past form shows distance from reality. We are not saying that the situation happened in the past. Instead, we are moving away from the real timeline and into our imagination. The first conditional moves directly from the present toward a possible future. The second conditional takes a detour into imagination. So remember, first conditional, direct to a possible future. Second conditional, a detour into an imaginary situation. Which world are we in? Now let's compare two sentences. If I have time, I will help you. This is the first conditional. The meaning is that I might actually have time later, so you can expect my help. Now compare it with, if I had time, I would help you. This is the second conditional. Here, the meaning is different. I do not have time, so I am politely saying no. The grammar changes because the meaning changes. Have and will help show a real possibility. Had and would help show an imaginary or unreal situation. The conditional decoder matrix. Let's bring the two conditionals together. The first conditional describes real and possible future situations. Its probability is high, around 50 to 90%. We can use it for predictions, warnings, and real advice. The if clause uses the present simple, and the result clause uses will plus the base verb. The second conditional describes unreal or hypothetical situations. Its probability is very low, around 0 to 5%. We use it for imaginary situations and advice, such as, if I were you. The if clause uses the past simple, and the result clause uses would plus the base verb. So the key difference is simple. First conditional, real and possible. Second conditional, imaginary or unlikely. Scenario 1. The fishing trap. Now let's apply the first conditional. Look at the situation. Ahmed receives a suspicious link. We ask, is this a real, possible danger in the future? Yes. So which world are we in? We are in the real world, so we use the first conditional. The sentence is, if Ahmed clicks on the link, he will get a fake message. The condition is, if Ahmed clicks on the link. The result is, he will get a fake message. This is a possible future result, so the first conditional is appropriate. Scenario 2. The illusion of trust. Now let's look at a different situation. The question is the website actually real? No, it is an unreal situation, so we move into the imaginary world. That means we use the second conditional. The sentence is, if the website were real, people would trust it. Notice the structure. After if, we use were. Then we use would trust for the result. The sentence describes something that is not true in the situation we are imagining. Scenario 3. Stepping in to help. The second conditional can also be used to give advice by imagining that you are another person. Look at Ahmed's situation. We can imagine ourselves in Ahmed's position and say, if I were Ahmed, I would tell the IT department immediately. This is a classic use of the second conditional for advice. Notice the form. If I were Ahmed, then I would tell the IT department immediately. We are imagining that we are Ahmed and saying what we would do. Map the consequences. Now let's practice thinking about cause and effect. On the left, we have the cause, introduced by if. On the right, we have the effect, introduced by will. For example, if he eats too much fast food, he will have health problems. The cause is, he eats too much fast food. The effect is, he will have health problems. Now look at the second situation. The cause is, he doesn't sleep. Think about the possible result and create your own if and will sentence. The important thing is to connect the cause with its possible future consequence. Master your worlds. Let's finish by reviewing the two worlds of if. The real world uses the present simple and will. We use it to predict, warn, and give advice about real situations. The imaginary world uses the past simple and would. We use it to dream, hypothesize, and imagine alternatives. So remember, real and possible, present simple plus will. Imaginary or unlikely, past simple plus would. Grammar is more than just rules. It helps us express both our reality and our imagination. Thank you for watching.